Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Friday and another casual champion review. Time to mute myself for the rest of the game because I have to play Aphelios. Ideally, I'd go mute because I bit my tongue earlier today. And one might argue that maybe it was done unintentionally. That why would you do that to yourself? But actually, I did it on purpose because I have to be in character for playing Aphelios. He is also in unimaginable pain. Well, I can tell you right now, today is not going to be the best of days because I am playing AD Carry. And you guys know how much I love AD Carry. You know what I do love, actually, though? Fan art segment, yes. Oh, that's beautiful. Brings a smile to my face every time. A lot of people used Nikki Girl as the replacement for Elune this time around. Some for Ivan. You guys are so, it's so creative. It's so funny. I feel like at this point the fan art segments might feel a bit intrusive. I hope they're not, because I really like showing these off. I think they're so funny, and I think the artists who made them deserve the credit and the time for taking on this challenge that's not even real. But alright, onto the horribleness of playing AD Carry. Well, I'm gonna have to try and play AD Carry while focusing on this video. So anyways, welcome to Friday. Welcome to this week's casual champion review. Today we're playing Aphelios, the moon guy. Really it should be Aphelios and Elune, because they're kind of two halves of the same whole, but it's only Aphelios. It's the Aphelios show. I don't really know why. I guess, is it because, like, Nunu and Willump is called Nunu and... I guess Nunu and Willump is fine because Willump has, like, an actual physical presence on the Rift, while Elune's just, like, a weird ghost lady who never shows up at all. That's kind of their whole story, is that they are a duo, you know? So anyway, Aphelios, the guy, the Moon Man, the Certainly Tea Abomination, Mr. 200 Years himself, Lunari guy, kind of threw the whole Lunari Solari balance in League of Legends out of whack, because we have Diana as the hardcore Lunari, Leona as the hardcore Solari, then we have Zoe as the Lunari who left the order, and we have Pantheon as the Solari who left the order. And then Aphelios is here, is like, hey, I'm another one. We got another Lunari over here. So Aphelios and Elune are born during an eclipse, but not any normal eclipse. They're born when the spirit moon eclipses the real world moon, so because of that they're like double moon powers, and they're kind of destined to do something great. They're destined for greatness. Aphelios is more attuned to the physical world with his love of weaponry, while Elune's more attuned to the spiritual realm and her connections therein. Wow. I sure do love this lane. This lane is great. I'm having so much fun playing AD Carry. So anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted, Aphelios discovers this flower called Noctum, and he is able to consume it once grounded to a liquid, and it grants him immeasurable power, I guess, but it also gives him mind-bogglingly awful pain, like pain so awful that he becomes numb to everything else, and that is the explanation for why he is mute. He's not actually mute, he's just like in so much pain that talking would just ruin his day or something. I don't know. I guess it feels like unnecessarily overcomplicated, but you know, that describes Aphelios pretty well. He's unnecessarily overcomplicated. Later on, a magical temple opens up, and Elune's like, oh, magical temple? That doesn't come out very often. Maybe I should get use of this. And so Elune is crowned to be the fabled one to inhabit this temple, and so there's a big ceremony around it. Aphelios, not normally involved with this kind of stuff, decides to hop in. Oh. Awesome. Look at that. So during the big ceremony, the Solari somehow find the Lunari who are there trying to celebrate Elune's grand arrival into the temple, which is... The Solari didn't even know that they exist, so how that's even possible, I don't know. Okay. Because at this moment, it's supposed to be that the Lunari are, like, living in secret. The Solari don't know of their existence, because if the Solari did know of their existence, they'd all fucking die. So, I don't know what was going on there. But Elune reaches the heart of the temple, and she's able to channel her power through the spirit realm, and she's able to focus her power into Aphelios through the poison, because she needs some kind of way to focus her power. I'm not sure why it has to be the poison. I always found that kind of peculiar. Like, does he have to actually consume the poison to channel her power? Like, couldn't he just, like, drink a cup of orange juice and be like, yes, Don't worry, brother. I shall channel this power through the orange juice in your veins. Regardless, now that she has this power, she's able to manifest big old weapons, as you see before you, in the spirit realm and into Aphelios. And that's why you can switch them out at will and all that stuff. But over the course of the everything that happened there, Elune gets trapped in the temple and in turn trapped in the spirit realm. So she's not dead. Like a lot of people say, when people say Elune ghost, she's not like really a ghost. She's just more like astral projection in a way. She's projecting herself into the physical world through the spirit realm. And now that they're the new head honcho of the Lunari, well, they're not like the leader, but like they're the primo assassin group together to help cleanse the world of these horrible bigots that want their people dead. And they're kind of just off doing their own thing, brother and sister, which is, you know, it's a cool enough dynamic. I wish that we got to see more of Elune. Or like Aphelios would even like grunt in response to Elune saying these things. But it feels so one-sided as it stands. Is there any other lore stuff about them? Not really. They're kind of just in limbo at the moment. Can you count the whole thing with Set Aphelios' lore? Maybe. It's not really canon, but Riot seems to be trying to make it canon if Legends of Runeterra and the Spirit Blossom versions of them are anything to go by. Wait. Okay, well, that's the end of the review. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to game 2. Alright, time for game 2. I don't know how to do this, because usually by like the 15-minute, 20 mark is usually when I finish talking about the lore. And then I can move on for the rest of like the remaining 10-ish minutes to talk about the gameplay and the character design a bit. What do I do now? I don't know. Where do I continue? I think where we left off was a Set Aphelios, right? I think that's where we left off. So I think they're trying to make Set Aphelios canon through Legends of Runeterra interactions, and especially through Spirit Blossom Set. I don't know how they're going to make it canon in the base game, because they're kind of on opposite ends of the world, like as far as you can possibly get, really. Wait, K'Sante Nila, okay. See, that's a ship I support. I was going to say, I don't really like shipping too much, but I support K'Sante Nila, mostly as friends, though. I feel like friend shipping is far more interesting than romantic ones. Yeah, I fully support the idea of Nila and K'Sante being best friends going around the world hunting monsters together. I don't know, friendshipping just feels a lot more fun to me. Obviously, I'm not the best one to talk about shipping. Oh! Okay, well, it's okay. I didn't want it anyway. Oh, I don't know, maybe it's just because like a lot of romantic shipping has really irked me the wrong way. You know, like Lilia Yone is just kind of gross. Or like people ship Senna with Thresh, which is weird because she's married already. Or people will ship like Zoe with anyone, and that's fucking gross. But like, I feel like if you're friend shipping or doing it with like characters that, you know, respectable levels, that's fine as long as it's all in good fun. The problem is sometimes shipping isn't all in good fun, and people take it really seriously. I think Set Aphelios is actually a great example of that, where like there's some people who are viscerally against the idea of Set Aphelios, and some people are viscerally for it. Like if either like those people who are against it, like if you don't think Set and Aphelios are a couple, then you're homophobic. And if you do think that Set and Aphelios work well together, then you're fucking lobotomized or something like that. Like, I don't know. Shipping culture is weird, man. Just let people have fun. Like, Set Aphelios, I don't get it personally. I guess it's supposed to be like the big guy, pretty boy combo deal. Combo deal. I don't get it personally, but nothing wrong with people who do. I think even Shyvana Jarvan started as a ship, if I'm not mistaken. Let's be honest though, Shyvana deserves way better than Jarvan. There's also, don't ship people, like real people in real life. Like that is especially, that has happened to me. I have been shipped with one of my friends before. That's fucking rancid. You know how rancid that feels? Like someone that you call it, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna forcibly implant the idea of being romantically interested, or like a person that I watch being romantically interested in someone else. Like that's vile. Don't ever do that. It's gross. So I guess we could talk about Aphelios' design, because I did mention before that he's the emo boy. That's his thing. He doesn't talk. He's edgy. The black hair, the makeup, the spindly figure. He's quite a big contrast to it. Like even K'Sante that we're fighting in this lane right now, where K'Sante is like the biggest beefy of beefy boys. Like, Aphelios he's just a little guy. My only really big problem with Aphelios is that he looks so glamorous. And I get that was the intention. He's supposed to look like a K-pop boy. That's what they were going with, because they want to have that kind of character design that isn't really present in League. Although I guess you could argue Ezreal fulfills that same kind of character niche. But Aphelios being really glamorous looking, I don't really like it because it kind of contradicts with what his character's supposed to be. Because he is, you know, the Lunari are in hiding. They're in secret. He's in constant pain all the time. And yet, like, he looks great. You know, like, he looks completely fine. He's got his Sunday best out for a night on the town. All these ceremonial robes and shit. I don't know. I don't vibe with it, I guess. Aphelios 100% looks better than Diana does, but that's also because of time. I'm just saying, a character like Leona, which we have full visual reference for what the Solari actually look like, and Leona is the worst looking of them. Like, she doesn't look like she even belongs. Lux damage. She doesn't even look like she belongs to the order she's supposedly the leader of, you know? Aphelios at least looks like he belongs to the Lunari. Admittedly, if you look at Aphelios compared to the other Lunari, he definitely fits in a lot better than Leona or Diana do. But I feel like he stands out a bit too much. That could be argued it's because he's supposed to be like the primo assassin, like he's a character of high importance, so he should stand out. But like, look how bright his colors are, man. How you get to assassinate? Like, he's got the RGB lights going on. He's trying to assassinate someone? I don't see it. Can you imagine if, like, switching W gave you movement speed? Would that be broken? I feel like it's like he does, like, like the backflip and he just, like, go faster because of that. What is happening over there? Okay, well, awesome. I guess the lane just plays itself. You know, sometimes bot lane is like a Subway sandwich. It's got all this, like, random bullshit in it, and at the end of the day, it just kind of fucking sucks. Can I 1v1 the Nilah? Surely, the 1 in 5 Nilah does not even hold a candle to my power. Okay! This seems slightly unnecessary. Do not worry, I am Mr. 200 years. The moment I grab even a single second item, I will demolish this entire game single-handedly. I have the ult move. I forgot that Aphelios has an ult. I didn't use it all of last game either. Well, that just goes to show you how much I play this character. He doesn't have an E either, so I can't... it's not entirely out of the woodwork to think he doesn't have an ultimate. So if you don't know, Aphelios was designed by the one and only Certainly T, who's brought us such champions like Yasuo and Zoe. Did he make Zoe? I think he made Zoe. And he made the Akali rework, and he made the Darius character. I think that was his first go out, right? Like, he wasn't a game designer and then made Darius, and the people at Riot were so impressed that they're like, here you go, you're a champion designer now. And then we get shit like Aphelios. You know, he's not as awful as he could have been. I remember seeing the whole thing where they were tossing around the idea that Aphelios' power level would scale with the real-world cycle of the moon. I don't know how in any world they would ever balance that, but I love the idea of it being like world's time. And the pro team's like, oh man, guys, gotta ban Aphelios, the full moon is out. And I know it might be weird to look at, judging from the gameplay I've shown you today, but I really don't think Aphelios is that difficult. I think in any other circumstance, if I walked up like that as an AD carry with no sense of positioning and no proper sense of spacing, I would have died no matter who I'm playing, unless I was playing Vayne. Then I could just press my kite button and run away. But I think it's like a weird notion to think that Aphelios is like this crazy, omega, huge brain character when, like, no, he's just kind of wonky. Like, I feel like, give me another game of Aphelios and I'll have the guns down pat. Oh, look at that breathing. You gonna keep breathing, Aphelios? Or his breathing's really loud. That's like the one time I've heard Aphelios say anything. Except the huh when he ults. I don't like the notion of, like, the game revolving around you. I know it doesn't anymore, but I feel like that's what AD carry players think, like, you know. I feel like AD carry players, most of them are just like, they're stuck in the Ardent meta where the entire game revolved around them, and if they're not doing good, then the entire game is in shambles. The playstyle of AD carry in and of itself is just, it's designed to be selfish, and I don't know, I don't like that. There's very few AD carries that break that barrier for me. Like, I like Twitch because he's a funny rat guy and you can go invisible. I like Samira because she is the funny Engage and she can just be a frontline AD carry. That's pretty awesome. Of course, I like Jhin, but I mean, like, who doesn't like Jhin? You know how there's like the test of psychopaths? Like they hurt animals at a young age. That's how you know they're a psychopath. People who don't like Jhin, I feel like they can give them the same litmus test. Like, oh, they don't like Jhin? Oh, psychopath. So now usually is the time where the game would have gone on for like 35 minutes to 40 minutes and I'll be out of things to say, but it's okay because the game will be over. This game is a little bit different, it seems. Where now we're on, 20 minutes of this game. Just seems so boring. I guess Aphelios has, like, a bit more to him in the switching of weapons, which I could see that. But half the time I feel like Aphelios is either broken beyond belief, like he's the best AD carry in the game, bar none, or is useless. He was significantly worse at launch. There's a reason he was known as Mr. 200 Years. I still remember all of those highlight reels. The caster's not even knowing what the fuck he's doing. I gotta remember that I have an ult. Like, I don't know why it eludes me at the idea that I have an ult button. I don't know why that's so difficult for me to grasp. I guess in summary, pretty neat lore. I like the idea of him being like the duo with his sister. I wish that Elune got more time to shine instead of just being a background character. It really feels like it should be Aphelios and Elune. Because I imagine a new player probably picks Aphelios, doesn't know the lore, and they see, oh, look at this pretty emo goth boy. Oh, I wonder what he sounds like. And then you hear a girl's voice and just like, the alt button, Nicholas. The alt button. You have... Why can't I'm like mentally struggling to press the alt button and I don't know why. I don't think we win now, actually. Oh my god! Wow, maybe we do. No, I don't think we do. Well, that does it for today's Casual Champion review, everyone. I'll see you next week for another exciting AD carry game on Ashe. Alright. See you. Oh.